Good to be here. I just crossed over Mains and Kessels. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Have a good day. Yeah, I'm fine. Here you go.
Thank you.
Richard Bull.
Yeah. Take care, hey. See you later.
I met you on the TV also.
Okay.
My husband said you are really kind.
Very good dancer. Really excited.
呀，对不起哦。
How long's the shopping centre been here?
Shopping centre's been
Early 80s.
Here we go.
who's taking
Hi.
I'll take care.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Tony's son. Thank you. So these are the pancakes, the most popular pancake at Sunnybank. This is senior manager of this shopping center, YFG.
Lovely to meet you.
And he has been very kind, donating fundraising to our war memorial for last 14 years. Tony, from in here? Or in Zambia? Stella, Eric and Stella, take a picture of the landmark here. You look handsome.
Oh, you're a good man. Did you capture that?
Simon, that's Simon.
Simon.
Look at here. Simon, you want to take a picture?
Meeting members of the community, and if you want to get out here in this wonderful shopping centre, thank you.
Thank you. You did a Zoom meeting last for Peter Russo.
Yeah, I did. Peter.
Hello.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. Please take a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Yum Cha with our Prime Minister, the Honourable Anthony Albanese MP. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by acknowledging the traditional custodian of the land on which we meet, and pay respect to the elders past, present, and emerging. I want to introduce each and every one of you. First, I introduce our special guest, the Honourable Anthony Albanese, our Prime Minister, 31st Prime Minister of Australia. 26 years in 1996, same as the charter with the Lions Club, Brisbane Chinese Charter in 1996. That is Graham Parrott MP, the federal member for Moreton. Then we have Dr. Peter Ho AM. He is the president of the Queensland Chinese Museum and also the honorary president of the Queensland Chinese Forum. Anita Huang. Anita is the president of the Australian Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce Queensland chapter. And then we have Peter Russo, the famous Peter Russo, member of TUI. Yes, the Prime Minister was mentioning it just now. Then we have Dr. Ki Cheong, OAM. Dr. Ki Cheong is also the honorary president of the Queensland Chinese Forum. We have Peter Law, OAM, the honorary president of the Australian Queensland Food Chain Association and also the honorary president of the Queensland Chinese Forum. Wayne Koh is the Secretary General of the Queensland Federation of Taiwanese Association. We have Terry, Joe. Joe is 95, the life member of Labour Party. Joe, thank you for coming. Terry, the daughter of Joe. Thank you for your attendance. Then we have Annie Sun. Annie is the Secretary of the Australian Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce. We have Chai He, the president of the Lions Club Brisbane Chinese. I mentioned the Brisbane Chinese chapter in 1996. Same year you were elected to become a member in 1996. Then Then we have China is the principal lawyers of the Harman Legal, situated at number 966 Logan Road, Holland Park West. Johnson Chang is the birthday chair of the St. Joe Chinese Community Memorial Committee. He's also the past president of Alliance Club Queensland Chinese, the past president of the Queensland Chinese Forum. And there was Simon Tang. We'll talk about that, Simon. We'll talk about this. Simon Tang, the chairman of St. Joe Chinese Community Memorial. I talked to the Prime Minister about Amway Sheffield just now. Oh. Later on, you have a medallion to put later on. That is Feng Cheng. Feng Cheng is the founding president of the Mainland Chinese Society of Queensland, the current president too. Then we have Michael Ma. Michael is the president of the Queensland Chinese United Council. Very popular guy. And did a lot of festival around in Brisbane here, the biggest Chinese Brisbane festival. Then we have Richard Kwan. Richard is the Vice President of the Australian Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce, also the President of the Queensland Community Development Association. Then we have Zhu He Park. Zhu He is the President of the Southside Migrant Association, also the past Secretary General of the Korean Society of Queensland. And myself is Louis Lee. Louis, thank you.
Glad to see you.
I came here in 1983, so I'm a proud Australian of the Malaysian and Chinese heritage.
Went to Randwick
Boys High School.
Randwick Boys High School.
Yeah, studied architecture degree at New South Wales University.
And could I also acknowledge the traditional owners and thank them for their strong and continuing stewardship, the Yagara people on this side of town. And Prime Minister, welcome to a part of the world that you know very well. The Prime Minister drove here over the Kessels and Mains intersection, something that he was instrumental in carrying back when he was the Transport Minister.
That's right.
The Prime Minister, this community is a hard-working community. They work very hard. They do know how to play very hard as well. Late nights with many of the people here. But the community would be interested in hearing how The Voice would be a great thing for the people of Australia. We've got a big multicultural community. I know some communities have already come out and made a position clear on The Voice, but many of the people sitting at the table are contemplating what will occur. And next month, basically, or soon, there'll be September, there'll be an opportunity for them to hear the yes case and the no case. I know the Labor Party took this to the election 1 year ago, but could you talk to us about that process and why it would be good for the migrant community?
Well, thank you. Can I thank Graham and Lewis for having us here, and thank all of you for coming along here as well. I also begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. And can I say that what I just said then is an example of why we need to have a voice. That when I was young, even when I was first elected in 1996, that didn't happen. What we do now as a multicultural nation such a success, with a leader and Prime Minister with a surname called Albanese, which is half Italian and half Irish, with a Senate leader called Wong, is we celebrate our multiculturalism, but we also should have a great source of pride in the fact that we have in sharing this great continent of ours with the oldest continuous culture on earth, our Aboriginal Australians. And what the referendum is about is just three things. One is recognition in our constitution. I've just been in New Zealand just a few hours ago. There, like all other advanced economy, advanced countries that grew out of colonies like Canada, Norway, a bunch of countries have all recognised First Nations people in their constitution or their founding document. Here in Australia we haven't yet, and it's unfinished business to do that. So that's the first thing it's about. The second and third things are linked. We need to listen to Indigenous Aboriginal Australians in order to get better outcomes. Now, we know that for communities such as the Chinese community here, the Taiwanese community, the Korean community, there's been enormous success. But Aboriginal Australians are still behind. There's an 8-year life expectancy gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. There's gaps in education, health and housing, and we need to do better. And the way that you do better is to ask, to give people a voice, and that's what the voice is. So it won't change the way that our parliament functions, it doesn't have a right of veto, but it will mean that there's an elected body which is able to make representations and say, this is how we can do better. And in so many areas that is necessary, and what we know from experience as well is that when you do ask people who are directly affected by an issue what they think and how they should respond, you get better outcomes. And we see that including with Aboriginal Australians in areas like justice reinvestment, in areas like Indigenous Rangers programs, community health programs. When people are involved, you get better outcomes. For the same reason why Graham does a job of consulting with his community, which is in part what today's about, getting out and about. And I've visited this seat many times now, and I've indeed been to a function at this very restaurant, I think for Peter, some years ago, and that engagement is so important. So this, in my view, should be pretty non-controversial, and it is important that we say yes because of our international standing as well. I think the world will be watching and to see whether we're a fair country, which we are. So I sincerely hope that people can vote yes, and that the community here supports the Yes campaign. I know Graham will be working very hard. In the Labor Party, we're unanimous on this, as is there are a whole lot of, all of the state premiers are in support of it, regardless of whether they're Labor or Liberal.
Many Liberals.
We have many Liberals in support of this, including Julian Leeser, who was the Shadow Attorney General and Shadow Aboriginal Affairs Minister. All of Julie Bishop yesterday came out in support. We have Malcolm Turnbull is supporting a whole range of people. Dominic Perrottet, who was the Premier of New South Wales, very supportive. We have the church groups across the faiths supporting this change. All of the sporting codes, rugby league, AFL, cricket, tennis, basketball, all supporting this change as well. And non-government organisations, everything from the Salvation Army to NCOS to the Federation of Ethnic Community Councils of Australia are supporting this as well. So I hope very much that the community can give support to this. I thank you for your welcome here today, and thank you for giving me the honour of coming along to say hi.
Thank you. Thank you, our Prime Minister. I want to thank our Prime Minister for your attendance today. Actually, this is 14 years now, 2009 years. And can I have Peter Russell come join us? Peter, join us? Yeah. And we took a photo with you in 2019, 17th of April in Sunnybank Memorial Garden. So I want you to present that. Peter, because we keep on mentioning Peter Russell.
How good is that?
And Peter Hall, please. Peter was the structural engineer. Peter. The sorry about I'm just told the Prime Minister already. Simon?
Thank you to Grandparent as well. He is doing a lot of connection
That's
with the
amazing
community. And Peter Russo as well, and Louis. And amongst all the others, I'm nothing honestly, but representing South Korea, who is very open.